Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to do a book haul. It's not a massive haul, but there's some really interesting books in here. A couple I've been sent for a review, some I've bought for myself. One was one that my husband found, which, you know, if you knew my husband, you'd know that that is very rare because he doesn't read books. He reads a lot of like news and internet stuff, and he's really into sort of looking at things on Instagram and stuff. But yeah, he found this and said, I think you'll like it, and I may even read it afterwards. So I had to get it. But let's get into the book haul and I'll show you the books that I've got. The first book is one of two that I was sent by the publisher, and I'm really pleased. They came as sort of a two-book thing because obviously with coronavirus they're sending out books more as packs at the moment. So I wanted this one. I wasn't necessarily as engaged with the other one, but it's definitely one that I think I'm going to give a go because they took the time to send it to me. So the first book is David Attenborough, Cherish the Natural World Because You're Part of It and You Depend on It, Natural Historian, A Life Story. Now this just looks so good, and actually there's going to be one for Katherine Johnson, one for Rosalind Franklin and one for Alan Turing. And this says on the back, explore the wonders of the natural world with David Attenborough. Discover the life story of the man whose work helps us understand and appreciate the extraordinary planet we call home. And I love the look of this inside. It's got you know, things about Galapagos Islands and different animals. It's got information about Attenborough's life and different things about animals, and I just think it looks really accessible for everybody. It's definitely aimed at a younger audience, but it's definitely one that I feel like I'm going to enjoy as well. It's got like the timeline of TV, and it's just split into really nice chapters going through his life. No photos please. I'll be interested to read this and see what I think, so I'll let you know when I finished it. So the next one is this one. It's called Nur and Nisa, Inayat Khan by Sufia Ahmed, My Story. This is 1940, and hundreds of families are being forced to flee Nazi-occupied France. Nur and her family leave Paris for England, where Nur signs up to the Women's Auxiliary Air Force despite her mother's wishes. Her talents are noticed and she's chosen to join Winston Churchill's Special Operations Executive. Nur returns to France, but this time as a secret agent. Can she help keep her true identity hidden, report her findings back to London, and help the Allies win the war? So this sounds like it's going to be interesting. I'm not big on war stories, if I'm honest, but I'll give it a go. They very kindly sent it to me, so I will give it a go and see what I think. And I think there's going to be, or there is, sort of a range of books in this same sort of thing. It says there's one called the Berlin Olympics, Blitz, the Great Plague, the Titanic and the Trenches. So maybe one that I can read, and if I think it's good, keep on my shelf for Matilda when she's a slight bit older. Next up is a manga. And this one is The Promise of Neverland. This is the story by Kaio Shirai and art by Pasuka Demizu. And this is one I'm just hearing loads of things about. People are binge reading this at the moment. It's about a group of orphans who are in this house, and they discover something. Maybe things aren't quite as they seem when people are getting adopted. Maybe they're not going where they're being told they're going. I think this has got some sort of horrific elements to it, and sort of a horror vibe, but I want to give it a go and see what I think. I've been dipping my toes into a few different mangas recently. It's not a genre that I find many that I love, but I've got a few on my shelf. I've got Orange, which I really enjoyed, and I love Princess Jellyfish, but I recently read Food Wars and I didn't like it very much, so we'll see how I get on with this one. I've just picked up volume 1 just to see, so dip my toes in with this one. The next one is also a bit horrific, and it's bright yellow with yellow edges. It's called Harrow Lake by Kat Ellis. This isn't one that I necessarily think I would have picked up on my own. It was kindly sent to me by the publisher, and it's one that I'm going to give a go and hope that I don't scare myself silly. So this is about a girl. Her father is a film director. He filmed a cult horror film at this particular place, Harrow Lake. She doesn't know much about it other than, well, she knows about the filming location. She knows about it that way, but she doesn't know that it holds a connection to her family's past. Already I'm feeling a bit scared, but I'm going to give it a go. I might try and convince my friend Tracy to buddy read this with me, because she likes those sort of things, so she might hold my hand when I'm feeling nervous, but we'll see. So Tracy, if you're watching this and you want to pick up a copy of Harrow Lake, then yes, please do, and we can read it together. It says if you like Stephen King, snap this up. So I've not read much Stephen King, but we'll see. So it's definitely one that's, you know, drawing my attention. Okay, next up, time for a bit of romance. And that one is Marriage for One by Ella Mays. Now, I picked this up on audio a few months back and I started listening to it, and I don't know if I just wasn't in the right frame of mind, or that the storyline wasn't quite for me at the time and I couldn't give it the sort of focus I wanted, but I just didn't get on with it, although I didn't get very far into it, if I'm honest. And I've read Ella Mays recently and really loved her writing, so I thought I'm going to give this one a go, because she hasn't got loads of books out there and I want to sort of read all of her books if I can. So as far as I can remember, this is a book about a man who propositions a woman to marry him because of a particular property that she's come into inheritance of, much to the chagrin and anger of other people in the family. And he is wanting that property for a particular reason, and so they're having this sort of marriage of convenience, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but no doubt it's going to end up in, you know, saucy, raunchy times, which, you know, that's all right, isn't it? So yeah, I picked this one up and I'm going to give it a go. No doubt it will be a steamy, hot, great read, and I just need to give it a bit more focus and maybe read it in physical copy. The next one was also one that I received. It was in a book box, and that one is Splinters of Scarlet by Emily Bain Murphy. Not one that I've ever heard of, but one with a very beautiful cover. This book is set in Copenhagen. It's about a girl. She is following her friend, her best friend, who has been adopted into a family of a legendary dancer. She manages to secure herself into sort of servitude within this family to work for them, so that she can keep an eye on her friend and make sure that she's okay. There is some sort of magical element here. I think she uses magic in order to secure this placement. I'm not sure what the magic system will be, but it's something I'm interested to find out. But then she's also got other motivations to be there, because I think she thinks her father's been murdered by this family years before, and she wants to sort of root out the problem to it. I think this family maybe owns mines or something. There's lots going on here. There's magic and there's a bit of a mystery, and it's one that I'm looking forward to dipping my toe into. It's one I never would have picked up, I hadn't heard of, which is always great with book boxes. I think they open your eyes to books that maybe have passed you by or you haven't heard of, so some of those underhyped reads. So I'll definitely be giving this one a go. Okay, it's time for a bit more eroticism. Grip by Kennedy Ryan. I recently was looking up some book choices because I'm taking part in a readathon next month, which is all about reading romance. This one doesn't quite fit the bill, but it was one I sneaked onto my TBR and to my wish list when I was buying my books, because I just couldn't help myself. So this is about a musician and the manager. And I think the manager, she's had a sort of brief fling with this musician years back. She's sort of keeping close to her heart that she felt more than perhaps she thinks he did. And he's on this sort of brink of stardom now. And there's going to be some angst and some rock and roll, and I can't wait. And then the final book is the one that my husband thought I might like. And that is The Book of Eels, Our Enduring Fascination with the Most Mysterious Creature in the Natural World by Patrick Svensson. Now, you may think eels, Eleanor, that doesn't sound like a book that you would want to read, but actually I really like these books about specific animals that sort of teach us about ourselves as well. I really love books about octopuses, and I've really enjoyed reading books about orca and the natural world, and I really seem to be drawn towards books about creatures from under the sea. And what I really like about this, it says it's part H is for hawk, part the soul of an octopus, which I loved. This global phenomenon published in the 33 countries is both a meditation on the world's most elusive creature and a reflection on the fleeting magic of life itself. Remarkably little is known about the eel, so little in fact that scientists and philosophers have for centuries been obsessed with what has become known as the eel question. Where do eels come from? Are they fish or some other kind of creature altogether? Even today, in an age of advanced science, no one has ever seen eels mating or giving birth, and we still don't understand what drives them. After living for decades in fresh water to swim great distances back to the ocean at the end of their lives, they remain a mystery. In the Book of Eels, Patrick Svensson looks to renowned historical thinkers philosophers, from Aristotle to Sigmund Freud to Rachel Carson, for whom the eel was a singular obsession. And we meet the scientists who spearhead the search for eels' point of origin, including Danish marine biologist Johannes Schmidt, who led research efforts in the early 20th century, catching thousands upon thousands of eels in hopes of proving that their birth grounds were in the Sargasso Sea. A blend of memoir and nature writing at its best, Svensson's journey to understand the eel becomes an exploration of nothing less than the mysteries of the human condition. The result is a gripping and slippery narrative that will surprise and enchant. I'm really excited about this one, and if I enjoy it, I should be passing it on to my husband and forcing him to read it too. So that is some of the books that I've received or picked up recently. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on them in the comments. As always, let's chat. Thank you. I've had a couple of subscribers recently ask if I will link these books down in the comment area, so I will link these books on there for you, so if you want to go and find out more about them, you can click on those links and go and find them. It's not an affiliate link or anything, it's just a link on where you can go and find them if you are interested in buying them for yourselves. Okay, well, that's it from me and the eels, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.